Greetings everyone! Thank you for joining in once again. Starting with today's episode, we're diving straight into the coding process. The preceding videos primarily served as conceptual overviews, laying down essential groundwork to ensure a comprehensive grasp before we immerse ourselves in practical implementation. I trust you found value in these preliminary insights. Now, as we delve into today's content, I sincerely hope you derive both enjoyment and utility from this ongoing series. Remember, your subscription and notification bell activation are greatly appreciated as they keep you updated with fresh releases. First, we will start by opening VS Code. If you haven't installed VS Code, you can download it from the official website. I have explained in my previous video how you can install it step by step. If you want to rewatch it, I have linked the video in the description box below. Alright, so let's dive into this. I've got the VS Code shortcut right over here. Just a quick click and wait until it opens. Okay, so a quick rundown of the VS Code welcome screen and interface. This is the first thing you will see. It's like your command center for everything you need. Now let's break it down. The start section over here, you can open existing projects, create new files, and add workspace folders. It's your starting point for any coding adventure. In the recent section, you will find quick access to your recent files and folders, handy for picking up where you left off. The walkthrough section on the right is your gateway to learning more. Check out official documentation, introductory videos, and an interactive playground to level up your VS Code skills. The Explorer panel over here, you have quick access to your project files, a search function, source control for Git integration, extensions for managing installed tools and debugging. On the far left, you will find the sidebar icons. Each icon serves a specific purpose. The folder icon for Explorer, magnifying glass for search, branch symbol for source control, play and bug icons for run and debug, and the square icon for extensions. The menu bar at the top gives you access to fundamental operations. File for creating, opening, and saving projects. Edit for standard editing functions. Selections for selecting functions. View for managing panels. Also, we have Go for navigation and Run for executing code, and the terminal. The terminal is your gateway to the command line where you can run commands and scripts without leaving VS Code. And finally, we have Help for documentation and support. Now let's get started with creating a new file where all the magic happens. And guess what? There is more than one way to do it. First, the classic approach, using the File menu. Go on and click that File menu in the top left corner of the VS Code window. See that New File option. Give it a click. Now in this prompt that just appeared, save the new file by naming the file and picking the right file type. That's the ticket of staying organized. Now here I'm just going to type my file name, which will be my HTML, or the extension of the file, which is an HTML extension, .html. Now select the location where you want to save the new file. I will save the file over here and select Create File. Now here we have the file we just created. You can see on the tab on top the name of the file. You can also do this through the Explorer panel. Head the Explorer panel on the left. If you don't see the Explorer panel on the far left of the window, see those icons over here, just click on the first icon or hit Ctrl plus Shift plus E and the panel will appear. Now just right click anywhere inside of that panel and choose New File. A label have appeared over here. Just type the file name and hit Enter. And there you go, we have just created a new file. Welcome screen has your back as well. You can toggle the checkbox here to enable or to disable the welcome screen when starting the VS Code. However, for the purpose of this video, I will keep it enabled. Now you see that new file button over here. Give it a click. We have the same prompt over here. Just type the file name and dot the extension for the HTML file. Hit Enter. Select the location where you want to save the file and hit Create File. And there you go. Let's not forget the ninja move of using keyboard shortcuts. Hold Ctrl and hit N if you are on Windows or Linux, or Command and N for Mac. Speedy, right? An untitled file pops up ready for action. Once you start typing, this text will dismiss. Save the file by pressing Ctrl S or Command S. Type the file name. For example, I'm just writing project.html. Hit Enter, and there you go. Now here's another trick up our sleeves. The integrated terminal. It's a powerhouse within Visual Studio Code. You can access it from the terminal menu in the top bar. The beauty of this terminal is that it's integrated, meaning you can run commands and scripts without leaving the comfort of your coding environment. When you open the integrated terminal, it automatically points to the directory of the file you have opened in the editor. This is a fantastic feature, saving you from navigating through the file system manually. Let's put this into action. Suppose you're working on a project and want to create an HTML file. Simply open the integrated terminal, new terminal. You can see here it automatically points to the directory of the file, which is codes in my case. What we need to do now is use the touch command on Mac and Linux or NI on Windows, followed by the file name with the .html extension. Touch the name of the file index.html and now hit Enter. You can see over here the new file that we just created, index.html, just appeared on the Explorer panel. So to edit on that file that we just created, we need to type code and the file name, which is index.html, and now hit enter. There you go. This opens VS Code with your current directory, including the newly created HTML file. You can now start coding right away. Integrated Terminal in Visual Studio Code is a separate instance specifically built into the IDE itself. It's a command line interface that allows you to run commands and scripts within the context of your VS Code projects. On the other hand, the command prompt on your PC or terminal on Mac or Linux is a system-level command line interface that interacts with your entire operating system. While they share similarities in that they both provide a command line environment, they serve different purposes. Now, the integrated terminal in VS Code, the location for it is within the VS Code interface, and its scope operates within the context of your current project or workspace. And the functionality of it, which is used for project-specific tasks, running scripts and commands related to your code. On the other hand, the command prompt or terminal on your PC, it is external to VS Code, typically accessed separately from the desktop or start menu. Its scope has access to the entire file system and system-level commands, and it is used for system-wide operations, installing software, navigating file systems, and general system management. In summary, the integrated terminal in VS Code is a specialized command line environment tailored for your development needs within the context of your project, while the command prompt on your PC is a more general command line interface that operates at the system level. Both can coexist and complement each other depending on your workflow and the tasks at hand. If you're interested in delving into the world of coding through the command prompt, drop a comment below. I am eager to hear your curiosity. If there is enough interest, I'll create a dedicated video tutorial to guide you through the essentials of coding using the command prompt. Now back to the file that we created earlier. So before we start adding content on the page, we need to set up the foundation of the page first. We commence the HTML document by incorporating the document type declaration, doctype HTML. So now I'm just going to type the declaration tag, which will be doctype HTML, written just like that. This element is crucial that serves to define the type and version of HTML utilized practically in HTML5. This declaration explicitly states that the document adheres to the HTML5 standard, guiding web browsers on how to interpret and render its content accurately. The doctype HTML tag, despite its importance, is remarkably flexible in terms of case sensitivity. It can be written in lowercase, or in uppercase, or mixed case, and modern web browsers will adeptly recognize and interpret it correctly. To begin constructing the HTML document, we initiate with the root element. Now, this is the root element. Root element encapsulates all other HTML elements and functions as the container for the entire document. Now in the HTML root over here, I'm just going to add the language attribute, and I'm going to choose English, which is EN for short, for our page. Okay, now let's delve into the head element. I'm going to add the head element inside of the root element. This element serves a distinct purpose, housing metadata and resources to the document, making it a pivotal component of HTML structure. The head element typically encompasses vital metadata about the document, including the document's title, visible in the browser title bar or tab, the character encoding specified with the meta-charset UTF-8 tag, search engine metadata such as meta-name and meta-name keyword, links to external resources such as style sheets and icons, information for web crawlers such as meta-name robots, for search engine indexing instructions, or for viewport settings. The head element is important for proper HTML document structure, encompassing metadata, resource loading, accessibility, and SEO. Its removal could result in a loss of crucial functionality, potentially leading to a less user-friendly and discoverable website. As for why it's called head, dating back to early HTML days, representing the non-visible behind-the-scenes information essential for document structure and presentation, but not displayed as a content on the web page. Now, after the head element, we're going to type the body element. The body element in an HTML document is fundamental, encapsulating the content visible to users on a web page. Its inclusion is indispensable, as it serves as the container for all the actual content, such as text, images, links, and multimedia. I will just leave it empty for now. These foundational elements represent the essential building blocks for every web page you create. The beauty of these elements lies in their ability to provide a structural framework for your pages, eliminating the need for repetitive manual inclusion in each instance. In Visual Studio Code, you can generate the basic structure of an HTML page using a shortcut key called a snippet. A snippet is a predefined piece of code that can be inserted into your code using a shortcut or by typing a specific keyword, and then triggering the snippet expansion. VS Code comes with built-in snippets for various programming languages and technologies, including HTML. To generate the basic structure of an HTML page using a shortcut key, follow these steps. Now I'm going just to head for an empty file that we created earlier over here. Inside that HTML file, type the keyword for the HTML snippet and then press enter. The common keyword for generating the basic HTML structure is usually HTML or HTML5. As you can see here, I'm just typing HTML. So you have HTML, which is your first option, and HTML5 over here, which is the next option or the second option. I'm just going to choose HTML5, hit enter, and there you go. VS Code will automatically expand the snippet, generating the basic HTML structure for you. The snippet typically includes the document type, the root element, the head, and the body tags. You can then navigate through the generated structure using the tab key to move between different parts of the HTML template. By default, VS Code comes with a collection of snippets that are designed to help you quickly write code for various programming languages and technologies. The HTML snippet for generating the basic structure of an HTML page is one of these built-in snippets. Keep in mind that you can customize and create your own snippets in VS Code as well. This allows you to define your own shortcuts and templates for frequently used code patterns. To do this, you would need to create a snippet.json file for the specific language or framework and define your custom snippets there. To create a custom HTML snippet in Visual Studio Code, follow these steps. Go ahead to the menu and select File. Now go to Preferences and choose Configure User Snippets. Now choose the first option, hit enter. Inside the HTML.json file, you can add your own custom HTML snippet. Here is an example that I created. Now this custom HTML snippet over here, this is the name of the snippet. When you want to use the snippet in VS Code, you will type the prefix associated with the snippet. Now the prefix over here, which in my case is my HTML. Now we have the body. This is an array of strings that make up the content of the snippet. Each string represents line in the code, the declaration tag, the root element, and also we have the head element that contains the title. This piece of code over here is a placeholder that you can replace with your own text. Now the body element, the opening tag for the body section of the HTML document. The description over here, this provides a description for the snippet. It's helpful for you to remember what the snippet does when you're looking at the list of available snippets in VS Code. Now save the file by hitting Ctrl S, and we're going to another empty HTML file that we created earlier. Now type the prefix, which was my HTML. You can see it over here. Just hit enter, and there you go. The snippet will be inserted and you can quickly customize the page title and content. Fantastic! That wraps up the last tip for this video. I trust you found it valuable. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section below. Looking forward to having you join us in the next video.